All right, hello everybody. I was gonna try and go live, but I might not have time right now, so I figure I'll do a quick unboxing of the two things that one of the two things that I had come in the mail that I was very excited at, especially getting it for the price. Now, one of the things that I've talked about a little bit on Twitter or in my review of the first Marvel Snapshot book when it came out is that for some reason, my number one go to character that I'm just thoroughly excited for is Prince Namor, the Submariner. And I don't really know why it started speaking to me, but I do remember that one of my first two trips to my local comic book shop, I picked up Captain America and the Invaders, and then this was around the time that maybe Invaders like 4 or 5 had come out, and I really, really liked the Captain and the America Invaders kind of one shot that set the stage for the relationship between some of the major players in the background of Prince Namor slash the Submariner. And as I started doing a little bit more digging in terms of kind of researching him, it was the chicken or the egg question of who existed first, Namor or Aquaman, because at the time I genuinely didn't know, and I kind of fell down the rabbit hole of doing a lot of reading on Prince Namor, the Submariner, as a character, and it's become um, one of my go-to stories or go-to books that I've been trying to collect. I've got the full 4-part run from the 80s in terms of telling the Submariner story. I've got bits and pieces of the runs in like 2000 and 2010. But I don't have, aside from that small run, a full run of anything. And Jason knows over at Chops Comics that anytime he stumbles onto a new Submariner title, a new Namor title, a new side title that Namor is part of one of the larger story arcs, that he will set it aside and know that I'm one of the most likely people to buy it. And when Snapshots number one came out, uh, David, who was on the podcast that night, said it was weird. And as long as he's been, reading and consuming comics, he has not run into anybody who said that Namor is their favorite character. It's a good thing I wasn't live because my wife came in and I had to put our youngest down for a bed or for a nap. So, what I stumbled onto on eBay, every time I kind of will thumb through these, I'll remind myself of the price that I paid for the lot of these books if I ever want to complain about the quantity of them. But what I picked up is a stack of, and my stupid virtual background is throwing it off, but I picked up a stack of the Tales to Astonish Submariner run from 1979. And I'm going to turn my background off so you can see my closet, and any of the books that I want to show will still be there. There we go, the bad view that you all have been used to. So I picked up um, these in an eBay auction and got like something like 12 books for 99 cents. And I paid more on the shipping at $3.95 than I did for these 12 books themselves. And I mean, the exterior quality of the book number 2 is not that bad, right? There's not any kind of noticeable big damage to the front. You can see a little bit of creasing in the spine. But then what I've noticed, at least with book number 2, is, I've got some, crappy little page tears here at the top, which, not good, but 99 cents for 12 books from 1979. But in looking at this run, I like adding to my collection books that are, the 30, 40, 50 cent title range. This is inclusive of books, 2 through 14. So I know that I got to hunt for a number 1, and I don't know how long this run is to complete the set. But yeah, I was afraid, seeing in the auction, that since none of these were, bagged or boarded, that they would be in rough condition. But I mean, the cover quality of book number 2 is the same as of book 3 is the same as book 2. There's a little bit of graying to the pages, but it doesn't have the annoying rip. So these, at least, were fairly decently well cared for wherever they were. But yeah, I'm just going to kind of flip through these, and I'll turn the feed off. But I'm very excited that, I'll still be very, very, very adamant about the fact that I don't know a lot about the history of a lot of these characters, right? That you look at some of the main books that I, consistently review on my blog, that I'm a homer for some of the, the big Marvel, primarily the big Marvel titles, because that's where I'm coming back from to capture pieces of my childhood. But it's nice to kind of stumble into a character who you see Namor kind of show up, and he gets this conflicted villain run in the Invaders, where you find out that he might not be as evil as you think he is, that he's still being controlled from the serpent crown, and he tries to undo some of the damage of who was kind of the image in his head. Or he shows up for a hot second, and it was either House or Powers, where Xavier is getting the band together and trying to get everybody on board, and the only line that we see from him is very dismissive of Professor X, where he says, come back to me when you're serious, little man. That a Mr. Freeze pull float, a $6 value for only $2.99 plus postage. But he's become one of these characters that's kind of off the beaten path that I like. And I'll be excited that if the rumor is true, that, or the fan rumblings are true, that when you hear in Endgame that Okoye says that there was a rumbling in the ocean, but there was nothing to investigate, does it set up potentially that Namor is the villain in the second Black Panther film? I don't know. That would be dope. I've seen Namor show up in some, of the cartoon work, but I don't think I've ever seen a live action Prince Namor. Yeah, the quality on these books is really good. That there are a couple of them that you see some rounding or some crimping of the edges in the top corner of those books, but really the lowest quality of the books is the first one, that has kind of the clear rip in the pages at the top. So no, this is one hell of a steal, I think, for 99 cents. But yeah, this is one of the things that I was very excited about, is this Tales to Astonish Submariner, because a couple of people know that he is the character that I am loving to learn the most about, that I am a big fan of, looking into how he's used and why he does not make as big of a splash. Uh-oh. The Dingo Kids meet O.J. Simpson. And we could apparently get some OJ autographed dingo boots. This is something that didn't age well. But I wonder if I tweeted OJ, since he's now on Twitter, which is the most fucking terrifying thing in the world. Do you think he would give me a free autographed photo of him and a dingo boot? But yeah, this is the character that I like a lot, that not a lot of people seem to care about, that they're interested when he's in whatever book they're reading, but he's off the beaten path for a lot of folks now, and I don't know why that is. So yeah, who's your weird character that you seem to be obsessed with, but nobody else is all that crazy into? Who's that, odd character, odd crew that you would go out and spend whatever money you could to collect all of those books? The other box that I have sitting next to me that I'll probably unbox tonight when everybody goes to bed. Also on eBay, I bid on a random mystery box of, I think, something like 20-ish trade publications. So if you want to see how little I actually know, then I'll go live for that video this evening once everybody's in bed, and you can go, yeah, he doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. Or if I get some of you who know uh, a lot more than I do into a live chat, then maybe you can help tell me what some of these books are about. But there we go. I'm going to go see if my 4-year-old is done with karate and my 2-year-old's asleep, and pray that my 1-year-old's asleep and that my 3-year-old has not peed on my bed. So until later tonight, have a good one.